So the first thing to do is to get the extension. So to do that, we'll go to Google Chrome Store Breakout Rooms. Just enter that in your search criteria. This should pop up right here, Google Meet Breakout Rooms. And then we will just go ahead and add it. Let me skinny this down. So we'll add this to Chrome. So it's added. All right. Now, some people said that they can't find it anymore. And it's underneath this puzzle piece right here. So you click on that and you just pin it. I'm going to show you one other extension which you may not need 1 week from now. Google is rolling out their new functionality for tiling up to 49 students. But in the meantime, you might need it. So that's Google Chrome Store. And this will be grid view fix. There it is. I'm going to add this, even though, like I said, you may not need this very soon, but I'll show it to you anyway. All right, so then I will highlight it there. Okay, we're in good shape. Now let's go ahead and call up the extension. So we'll click on the B here, the purple B. There it is. All right, let's go over the settings. You could look at the breakouts in either tile or tabs mode. If your screen's pretty small, then use the tabs. I'm going to use tiles for the demo purposes. You have some options here for color. You can add a background image. This checkbox, leave it off if you're teaching in a school environment with children. If you're teaching adults and everybody's outside your class, in other words, outside your domain, you don't have one domain for a school, then you may want to turn this on. This allows outsiders to come in. Think about this as allowing yourself to be Zoom bombed, okay? Now you may want to, it's a big convenience to allow you to do that, but schools, I would say, keep that off. All right, this next one is automatically join meets created by this extension. Normally I would just keep those two on, but if you find that you don't like automatically being fired up, you know, getting the meet room, joining a meet room, if you don't like that, for meets that you manage, and by meets you manage, I'll talk about meets that you defined in the Rooms tab, then turn this off. But that's what this is. And this last section is only relevant for, I'm referring to as the purples. These are the static URLs inside the Rooms tab. So if you turn this on for the main room or the breakout rooms, then every time you fire up, every time you open up the main room, you'll get a brand new link. Or every time you open up the breakout rooms, you get a brand new one. Now, it could be a little problematic if you turn this on for the main room, because then you will not know in advance what that URL is until after it's open. All right. That may be what you want, but then after you open it, you'll then need to find a way to email your students. Otherwise, they won't find you. All right. But this is only relevant for the purples, the static meet URLs. All right. Okay. So enough on that. Let's go to the courses tab. We're going to create a brand new course, and you click on the green button here. I'm going to call this Algebra 1, and say Intro, and click Save. All right. So these are basic buttons. You can add, save, do a refresh. Delete is from the bottom up. You can move things around. So if you want to delete this one, you just move it to the bottom and then click the red minus. This is a useful function. The black one is an export. If you want to export all your data from this extension to another computer, you could do that. You would export it to a file, and then you would move that file on a USB or email or something like that, and then import that file into your second computer. All right. So you may say, well, why don't you sync your browsers? And actually, I did try doing that. The reason why is because I'm using this method is because the data storage capability for browser storage is too small. So I have to go with this local storage method. All right. So if you want to sync up your browsers, do it, kind of old school way, this way. All right. So let's go to the Rooms tab. The Rooms tab. You could choose your course. We're going to choose algebra. The simplest method of creating links is just to use these statics. I'm referring to them as the purples. So you'll have to have at least a main room, and then you'll have some breakouts. And I'll just call this room 1, room 2, room 3. And all you have to do is just click save. That's all you have to do. And away you go. There's no copying and pasting or anything like that. In some of my old versions, there was some copying and pasting going on. You don't need to do that. Please don't do that. This is all you have to do. Now, another option is to use nicknames, and nicknames are only available if you have the Google Suite, and they're probably mostly used for Google Classroom. So your Google Classroom would be your nickname. So a nickname you could use. You could have nicknames for all of your meets as well, breakouts as well. So I could just say this is R HUDAC _ algebra 1. Okay, and I'm going to triple click on this to save it, and I'll paste that. Triple click, paste, and paste. Okay, and I'll click save. So it's color coded for nicknames. Nicknames are great because the URL changes. This will call a URL, and that URL that it calls will change every time you open up a new session and all your students leave. You can start another session. You'll have a new URL that this nickname points to. Now, if you're going to use nicknames, probably you also want a nickname for your main room, and usually that's going to be your Google Classroom. So let's take a look at that. So I have Google Classroom here, and so here's my algebra class, and you had this thing called the Meet link. So it's hard to highlight, but just try your best. Highlight it, and then triple click 1, 2, 3, paste it. Now you'll notice that it strips out those last 10 characters, which is your system generated nickname. All right. So that's how you could set this all up if you have Google Classroom. This is actually as a nickname. You can use just the static Meet URLs. You don't have to nickname everything. This could be a nickname, or really your Meet link, which underneath the hood is a nickname, and all your breakout rooms are these static purples. You could do that. Several combinations. So basically you're going to use either nicknames or these static purple URLs. If you don't have any preference, I would just say go with the purples, the static URLs. They work fine. They're really easy. Nicknames, you could have problems if the students are not in your organization. By that I mean, you see the @ntnurobert.page. So if I wanted other people to use my nicknames, they would have to be inside my domain. All right, so there's quite a few restrictions if you use nicknames, but they have a purpose, and it's very useful for schools. All right, in my example here, I'm just going to use the plain vanilla static URLs. Okay, so there we go. We have this. Now let's go to the Meet itself. Now in the Meet, you will take a look at your start class. These are all different sections. So we'll look here. I'm choosing the course Algebra. Great. And then I will say I want 3 breakouts. Now you can open, it's possible, it's fine. You can open everything all up at once, or you can first open up the main room, then go ahead and assign your students, then open up your breakouts. Okay, so you can do it lots of different ways. Or you can open your main room, then open up your open up your breakouts and assign the students. But there's several different ways to do it. Just come up with the process that you like the best and just stick with it. All right, so I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to say I want to open up the main room. All right, so it opens up. And right now there's no students because I need to create some simulated students. Let me go over some of the settings here. You see this right here with the slash, that means that it's inactive. This is our friend, the Google Meet fix, and Google Meet grid fix, and slash means that it's inactive. So I'll just single click on it. There you go. So it's enabled. All right. Now, the reason why we want this is because this extension is what you see is what you get. I need to see all the different students here in order for me to be able to assign them. But as it turns out, on my system, you can look at these triple dots right here. I understand that Google's doing a controlled rollout, so it depends on your system, your region, but you can look here, and in your change layout, you may see this. You may see this. Tiles, maximum number. Just move this all the way to the right, so you have 49. Make sure you're on the tiled mode. Okay, if you do that, you're in good shape. And in that case, you do not need this extension. All right, so you could click on it so it's inactive. All right, so it's inactive. Or what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to turn it off. So I'm going to go to the extension tab. So I'm going to go here on the Chrome browser under Window Extensions. And then I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find that extension. You see this slider right here? Slide it off. All right. Sometimes when you get a new update, things don't work the way you want it. So I will recommend sliding it off, sliding it on. Yeah, should be okay. So when you slide it off, you lose it temporarily. Then turn it on. Then you can click on this, and here it is. It's back. And you didn't lose your data. Your data is still there. All right. All right, so we're looking good here, and away we are. Away we go. All right, now let me pause the video right now and create some simulated students. All right, here we are. I had the main room, and I have 8 students. I'm going to go to the assigned breakout, and let's take a look. We have all these 8 students here, 2, 4, 6, 8. All 8 students are here. So the next step is, after creating the room, the students that are in there, I will go ahead and assign the breakouts. Now, this number right here is important, the number of breakouts, because this will carry over into here with the number of rooms I selected. Now, I will go ahead and randomly assign, so I'll just click, 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 get the students in there. Now, you can single click on her name. Let's say Vanessa doesn't feel good today. So when you single click on it, it turns red, and next time you click randomly assign, Vanessa won't be there. If you made a mistake, just click on it again, and then randomly assign should go back. You can also click and hold, click and hold. So grab Aaron and just move Aaron around right there. Okay, and I can move Jennifer. I'll click Jennifer, hold it, and move it there. All right, so let's just do this for now. I'll keep these assignments, and I will do the next step. Please click here once you have the assignments. So I'll click here, and I will click here to copy the breakout room links, and then I will go to the chat, and yes, and I will paste that in here. What this does is it copies the addresses, the links to those breakout rooms. Now we'll go to step 3, click here, and we will paste. This shows you the student assignments to the rooms. So Lucy, Jennifer, and Becky, they're assigned to room 1, which is this. Vanessa, Sally, Zach are assigned to room 2, and so on. All right. So we're looking pretty good here. There is a 500 character limit. If you bump up against it, then it'll tell you what to do, which is basically a copy and paste. Now, I'm going to pause the video right here, and I'm going to simulate the students clicking on these links. This chat is common to all the students. They will all see this. So, for example, if I'm Lucy, I will see this, and I'll see my name, I'll see room 1, and then I'll click on this. If I'm John, I'll see that I'm in room 3, and I'll click on that. So this part is actually very smooth. I've never had any problems with students not knowing where to go. Sometimes students will just choose on their own not to go where they want to go. Maybe maybe Becky likes John. Okay, so Becky goes, oh, I like John, so I'm going to go to room 3. All right, so you could have that situation. Or you could have a situation where Zach wants to float between 2 different rooms. So Zach will maybe go to room 3 as well as 2, so he might even sign into 2 rooms. So I'm going to show you the reporting for that. I'm going to pause the video right now. I'm going to simulate the students going into the rooms. Okay, I simulated all my students entering the main room and also clicking on the links. Now, let me tell you the order I did things. I gave them the links, and they clicked on it, and then afterwards I opened up the room. So it's possible to do all this before you open up all the breakouts. Probably it's better to open up the breakouts first, but it doesn't prevent you from doing that. I mean, in other words, you can still send out all your links to everybody even before the breakouts are open. Once you open up the breakout rooms by clicking this, then you should be in good shape. So you can click on that, and it tells you that they're all synced and they're open. So you're not going to have a double opened room or anything like that. So you can click on this and it's not going to open it twice. So don't worry about that. All right, so all the students clicked on the links. Now, sometimes they don't click on the right link. Maybe they want to join their friends or who knows what. So that's the purpose of this report right here, students report. So you just click on this and then take a look. Now you can see the reds are really the problem areas. Becky, she was assigned room 1, but she's in room 3. And John was assigned in room 3, but he's in 1. Now interestingly, John actually decided to join multiple rooms. So he's just kind of playing around a little bit, I guess you could say. Now another option is Zach. He was assigned room 2, but he's not in there. He's not participating. There is a Y right here, which means that yes, the person is in the main room. All right, so that's a useful report. Now you could also take a look at it from the rooms perspective as well. Now, I understand that a lot of teachers would like just everything to go automatic, like the students are basically pushed into the rooms and they don't have any choice. They just go ahead and do it based off of what you assigned them to do, and I can understand why that's very beneficial. In order for me to do that, I would need to have all the students actually install the extension as well. That's the first thing. And then I would need to set up some kind of a back-end channel connecting the teachers with the students, a parallel channel, which means I need to run it through a server. So all that really costs money to run a server. I still may do that. It's on my list of things to do. If it doesn't cost much money, I think I may offer it. But my goal really is to create something that everybody can use for free. That's my goal. I want to do everything for free. Now, it's possible that this is such a desirable option that people may want it anyway, even if it costs money. So just to give you a heads up, it's possible I may have a pro version, which would have the full end, front to back, back to front, teachers and students all connected, and then the students are pushed in. That would be in a pro version, and there would be a fee for that. I don't want to do that. But I just want to give you a heads up on that because some people do ask about it. You can see in the Chrome store there are some people who offer things like that, and for the most part, from what I can tell, they do charge money for it. Or if they don't charge money for it, they get it another way by using your private information, which I don't do. All right, so I don't make any money off of your data. Some people are able to use that to make money, and that would be money they could use to pay for the server. But everything's for free. I don't use any of your private data at all. Okay, so enough on that. So you can see how this works, and you can kind of monitor your students and talk with them about it. I may put some check boxes in here where you just show the problem areas, only the red lines. Okay. So that's what that is. I didn't show you this. This is a timer. It's in the middle, and you can say however long you want for the breakouts. Maybe you say 20 minutes, and then you say start, and then away you go. This is only on your system as a teacher. You would see this countdown timer. There's a couple of key points. One of them is at 1 minute, you'll hear a chime, and the second key point would be at 0 seconds. So let me just speed it up. I'll just say it's 1 minute and 5 seconds, and I'll show you how that looks, how it sounds. So 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so it turns deep yellow, and then you hear a chime. You'll hear another chime at 0 seconds, the second half of that. This is only on your computer as a teacher. The students don't hear that, so it's only on your computer. If you want me to pipe this into all the students, I'd have to have some kind of comprehensive environment. It can be done. But anyway, so what I normally do is when I hit 1 minute, I'll go ahead and do a broadcast to the students and say, hello, everybody, can you, start to wrap up? We're going to finish in a minute. And that timer would be a reminder for me as a teacher. All right, I would hear the chime and I would know, okay, I need to wrap up. And then when they get to 0 seconds, then I'll go ahead and do another broadcast. Now, when it's all done, you can see in this scenario, the students are also in the main room. Now, when they're in the main room, I want to make sure that they're all muted. So I would click on this, and they will all be muted. So that's one thing to be aware of. Now, when you want to move between rooms, I will use the slider, and usually I'll minimize it, and then I will use the right arrows and the left arrows. I like keeping the speaker on, which means that I hear what's going on in their room, and all the other rooms are turned off for the speaker. And if I want to join in, I'll turn on my microphone. And when I do talk, I always turn on my video so they can see me. But I do this to monitor the students. So I'll just go through the different breakouts and hear what's going on and so on. I tell them that I'm going to listen in on the breakouts just as if I was walking around the classroom listening to the students in their small groups. No different. And I'm just doing it in a virtual environment. What else do I want to say about this? You could do broadcasts and so on. Oh, yes. In a multiple monitor environment, some teachers have expressed told me that they had some problems with the speaker in multiple monitor environments. I'm still tracking that down, but if it's really becoming a problem, just work in a single monitor environment and see if that fixes your problem. All right. Now, one thing is I'm going to update in 16.7. In 16.7, it's aware of multiple monitor environments. So it knows what monitor the control panel is in. So if your control panel is in monitor 2, when you say you want to open up breakouts, the breakouts will be opened in monitor 2. So it tries to keep it all in that same monitor environment in 16.7. All right, so let's say that you are ready to finish up. You will make the announcement to the students, ask them to hang up their breakouts, and then go back to the main room where they already are anyway. And you can follow up on this in case there are some stragglers, they forget or whatever. So you can click on one of these buttons here. Breakouts are over. Remove all the students from all breakouts. That's usually your first step. You want to do that before you hang up. So you'll click on this, and this will go through all the different breakout rooms, and it'll go one by one. It's a little bit slow, but at least it's automated. You don't have to worry about it. It'll go through one by one, and it will, in an automated fashion, click on the pop-ups. All right, so you're all done there. Now you want to go ahead and hang up. So we're going to hang up, and that's very quick. To close those down, you can just click on them, and it's Command or Control W, Command or Control W, Command or Control W. All right, we're in great shape. And let me just try this. Okay, so now we are ready we're back in the main room, and at this point, let's say the class is pretty much over, and you'll say goodbye and so on. You will, most of the students will leave, but some will still hang around. So then you will want to remove them from the main room so you can close it. So you will click here, and it'll go one by one and remove the students. Then when you're done, you just click on the last button, which is the hang up. Okay, good. And then we can hang up. All right, so it's all gone. One thing I didn't show you, but I'll tell you now, is the reports. These are very basic reports. You have a basic attendance report, things like that. You can save your breakout groups. I do that because sometimes on assignments, they don't list all their coworkers. They don't list all their co-students, so they'll just put their name on it for the group assignment. So I do that just so I have a record of who's in the group. All right, so that's it. All right, thanks for watching.